Hi friends, Analeah here. Today I'm going to show you how to assemble the cards in my Shadowbox card collection. These cards are all assembled very similarly. Each one is constructed with flat details on 3 layers that get popped up with double-sided foam tape. They also all have a card for the inside that you can glue in, so if you're cutting these on textured cardstock or colored cardstock, you can write your message on nice, smooth white cardstock. These cards are all 4x6 and fit in the 4x6 box envelope design that I have in my shop. So if you need an envelope, that's a great one, and it will accommodate the layers of foam tape. These are all easy to assemble and provide a lot of interest and detail with the layers of foam. Today I'm going to show you how to assemble this fall hello card, but as I said, they all assemble pretty similarly. If you want instructions for the specific design that you have, you can find those on my website. Next, let's talk about supplies. In addition to the pieces for the card that you're making, the other supplies that you'll need are some craft glue. I've got my 𝗗𝗘𝗦𝗡𝗢 precision craft glue here. Of course, you'll need some double-sided foam tape to pop the layers in between the different Shadowbox pieces. So this is the 𝗗𝗘𝗧𝗔𝗜𝗍𝗔 brand like straight lines that come in the pack of cubbies. This is the 1/8 inch high, and this is a little bit narrower and like shorter foam tape that I got from my local craft store. So some kind of narrow double-sided foam tape. You're gonna need scissors to trim the foam tape. I also have some tweezers to help with little bits, or if I need some help peeling the foam tape protective cover off. I have my bone folder to really score the card well. The front of the card can get a little bit heavy, so it's really important that we score it well so that it wants to stand up on its own. And then I also have my glue eraser. The craft glue that I use is clear when it dries, but sometimes you get a little bit on there that doesn't really want to come off, and so a glue eraser can be helpful. Okay, Cricut users, let's get our file uploaded and prepared to cut. I have a blank canvas open in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to click on Upload and then Upload Image. And then I'm going to just drag my SVG file into this green box. And I'm going to click Continue and Upload. Now, Cricut Design Space is doing something weird with this collection of cards, and I think it just has something to do with what's happening in Adobe Illustrator when I'm exporting my designs. Everything is fine, but it's pushing the insert card way away from the card itself when it imports, which is not a big deal. So what we want to do is just ungroup everything first. So as it comes in all selected, and we can either like right click and click ungroup, we can come over to our layers and right click and say ungroup, or we can press Control-Shift-G on a PC, Command-Shift-G on a Mac. And that shows us all of our pieces here now. And what we want to do is take this group that's inside and we'll roll this down so it's right at the bottom there. And this is our card base. So it's our Shadowbox base and our score line. We want to select both of those. So I'm going to hold down Shift and select both of those things in our layers menu here and then click Attach. And now if I drag this over, we can see our score line is attached to the card base and won't get separated when we send this to cut. So this is the only prep work that you need for this collection of cards, just to make sure that your score line is attached to your card base. and then it's all ready to make. So I'm going to go ahead and come over here and click make and let Cricut Design Space lay out our layers here. So I'm just going to double check all of my paper here for this particular design. Right, we've got our white insert, which is intended for smooth cardstock. If you are using textured cardstock, make sure you cut that on smooth. We've got our dark brown for our tree base, our light brown for the top part of the tree. We've got our dark orange and our orange for the leaf, our like dark gold color, and our yellow for the other leaf. On our dark green, we have 2 of the 3 layers and the backing for the text. On our light green, we have the card base and the middle layer for the shadow box. And then lastly, we have our dark purple and our lighter purple color. This all looks great, and we can go ahead and click continue and send this to cut, and I will meet you over in the assembly. Let's go ahead and bring in our file. I'm going to drag in my SVG and place that on my mat. Now everything is pretty much ready to cut. We just want to make sure that we group our score line to our card base so that we don't accidentally move it when we're dragging things around to cut everything. So I am going to go to my layers panel on the right hand side here. It's this like 2 parallel square icons. If you're in starter mode, the icon will be bigger and it will be labeled. If we pop that open, we can see all of the layers and pieces inside of our design here. And what we want to do is click on the base and pop that open and make sure we have both of these polygons selected. And then we can right click in our mat area and say group. And then we can see here that that base now is showing a group. And if we grab this card base off of the back, we can see that our score line is there. So now we can freely go ahead and start dragging everything over to the side. This is how I like to organize things when I'm cutting. Group things by color. We've got our dark green, another light green piece, and our 2 brown pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and close out my layers. I need to cut the base and our middle layer here for the shadow box. So I'm going to go ahead and start lining that up and get everything cut. As I cut things, I like to cut them and then move them off to the right side of the mat. Everything on the left still needs to be cut. Everything on the right has already been cut, just to make sure that I get everything cut that needs to be cut. So go ahead and get all of your pieces cut, and I will meet you over in the assembly. So assembling these cards is very similar for all of the different designs. Our basic assembly is our lettering. There's going to be an insert for the inside of the card. Depending on the design, there may be some pieces that go on the back layer of the card, and then you'll have your decorative pieces that go on each of the 3 frames that we're going to pop up with that double-sided foam tape. So again, we're going to be assembling the Hello Fall version of the card, but if you want specific instructions for a different design, you can find those on my website. So let's get started. I'm going to start by gluing some of our little pieces together. So for this one, I've got a background piece that's a little tree, and this lines up. Make a little squirrel hole in the tree. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these together. I like to start by gluing all of the pieces together first, and then gluing them onto their frames before we start assembling the frames, and this gives everything a chance to dry up a little bit before we start trying to put it together. So we're just going to take this tree piece and line it up. So an easy way to do that, because it's mostly the same shape, is just stack the bottom and make sure we got the sides lined up. And then that gives us our tree with our little hole cut out. And we can go ahead and take this and glue it onto our base. So I am going to go ahead and fold this. Give that a good score. And we're going to go ahead and put our card insert inside. And then we can go ahead and do our tree. And this will give it a chance to dry while we put together our other pieces. So this particular card, this tree lines up right at the bottom and then right in the corner. We just want to line up our corner and then line up right along that bottom of the card. And that nicely positions that for us. And we can let that dry. And let's go ahead and do our letters. We're just gonna center these in here best we can. Again, that's why I like to use glue. It gives us a little bit of wiggle room to slide things around. All right. And then our 3 different leaves. Let's flip those over and add our glue on these. Now that we have our decorative pieces glued together, we want to glue those onto our frames. So before we layer our frames, we want to make sure we get all of these pieces in place. All right, now that we have these, we're all ready to go ahead and start layering them up with our foam. So I'm gonna go ahead and cap off my glue here. I've got my double-sided foam tape and some scissors. And I'm gonna take my pieces and make sure that I have them all in the correct order and correct orientation. So for this particular card, this orange leaf is in the upper right corner, and then we have our purple leaf, which is coming down from the left, and then on the front will be our yellow leaf that goes up. So we're gonna start by putting some foam on our bottom layer here, which we can tell is the bottom because it's got the thickest border. So we're going to go thick, medium, and narrow on the border if you need help remembering the order. So just going to go ahead and pike this around. Got lots of room on this one, so I don't really need to cut it because I can come around these corners easily. Just gonna try to keep it nice and centered. Just flip that and then give it a little trim right in this corner. Now, I do also want to put some support underneath the leaf. So I'll just cut a little piece there to give it a little bit of structure and lift. And then we can go ahead and peel up our protective layer. Again, make sure that we've got our layer oriented correctly. And then we're just going to line this up with the edges of the card. And then give that a good press. And we'll do the same for the next layer. Now, this layer is going to sit around here, but our leaf and our hello is going to be a little bit floaty. So I want to add 2 layers of foam on those to help give them a little more standoff. So that's optional, but it does help them from getting smooshed a little bit. And this one, instead of coming around the corner, I'm going to go ahead and do some snips. Since this isn't a shaker card, we don't have to get this perfectly sealed, but I do want to make sure I'm supporting my layers. Again, we're gonna check our orientation here and we'll line up our frame at the top and sides of the card, on the bottom. And then give that a good press. So that hello's standing up really well, but I think I want that leaf to pop up a little bit more. So since I didn't double layer it, let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to take my 2 pieces of foam that I cut roughly the same length and just line those up. Again, because it's standing off of the back and we have 2 layers of foam there. And so we're going to have 2 layers of foam in here. I'm just going to trim this down a little. I'm just going to reach under there, gently stick that in, and give it a good press. And now we can see it's not kind of drooping back there at all. You know, there's a little bit of like a dark spot right here from the glue. So I'm gonna just gently use my glue eraser And see if I can clean that up. Would it have been better to catch this before I put it on the card? That's a little bit better. And then we just have our last layer. So this one's a little bit thin, it's a bit tricky. There's room enough for these thinner double-sided tape, but it is narrow so that we have a nice even frame all the way around. So just be mindful as you're laying out your tape that you're trying to keep it centered. Now for this leaf, let's go ahead and stand it off. So I'm gonna cut some pieces here. There we go, and there is our Hello fall themed Shadowbox card. I hope you enjoy this collection. Thanks for crafting with me today. I'll see you next time.